Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ink and Well. I am your host, Nick. I'm here with Eddie, and we hope you're having a great evening. Tonight is going to be all about writing stories. Most of them are going to be inspired by the fantastical world of Falbian. Inspired, not necessarily canon. Of course, if the DM wants to use them, we'll be pleased by that. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just kind of see where the wind takes us. Yeah, I'm gonna start out with a little story just to see what I've written, so that way you can see that. And then we'll do some bullet points for a story that then, at a later date, we'll read on the stream, or we'll probably develop it on the stream, and then later. A finished version we will read on the stream, and then if we have time, we will also do some revisions on another story that I have already not finished it, but I've gotten a few drafts in. So with that, Eddie, anything you want to say before I read this story? Or
Oh yeah, next time you intro me, can you call me co-host?
Co-host, that's fine. Yes.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know. I know I'm a recurring character probably for this. I don't know if you're going to be recurring. You're going to have to impress me.
No, but like every time I'm on, I'm just co-host.
Gotcha. So anytime someone else is on, they're a guest, and then when you're on, you're co-host.
Exactly. Gotcha. Nailed it.
So, Ink and Well with your host, me, Nick, and then my co-host, Eddie.
Yeah, and then like next time it'll be like my guest, Jeremy. Mm-hmm. So perfect. Yeah, and then even like some of the stories that others come up with could be pertaining to their character pasts and or if they even wrote, a little weird character that the DM created or something that we want to create backstories for them and stuff. So that's what kind of this, just like a little storytelling stuff that Nick and I really like the story stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be kind of as the wind goes. We might try different things with this, seeing if we're able to do more of these. We're gonna try different things and try and keep it interesting. And for now, we're going to very simply do some stories just for today. All right. So with that, I'm going to start with a little story called Cain and Cecil. This was inspired by a character we met in the Friday campaign. I don't remember which chapter. I should probably have written that down before I started this. But I think if you've watched the Friday stream, you'll know Cain. And this is kind of inspired by just thinking of what would Cain maybe be up to in the north. Did you hear that? Yes. What should we do, Cain? Ewan, it was the wind. Oh, you're right. Both adventurers are wearing black cloaks draped over chainmail, rings interlocking from their waists to their arms to their necks. Cascading from nasal helms, chainmail coifs overlap their necks. They are sitting on the ground, backs up against trees, bodies facing each other, eyes looking past and into the forest. Cain is quiet, his head slowly pivoting left to right and left again. Endless conifers surround them, rising straight up, competing for the sky. Dead needles and branches litter the ground, no longer useful for height, no longer the canopy. The wind softly whistles between the trees, and it carries the scent of pine and sap. Across from Cain, Ewan's armor chatters. His head moves much quicker, like he's trying to watch the wind. His gauntlet is locked around the hilt of his blade. I hear your armor. What? Oh, yes, sorry, I'm shivering. It is cold, but try to be still. Yes, is armor cold because it's metal? And I don't know, and I don't care. Focus on your sector. Ewan's mouth opens, but it stutters and makes no noise. When they have sat long enough that they notice the moon moving, they hear a bird call. What was that? Cain makes a bird call back. Get up, they're here. 5 people walk through the trees towards them. Cain helps Ewan get up, and they begin walking towards the others. Good evening, Kane, a woman's voice says. She's the only one with a regular black cloak. Cecil, well met. Kane shakes her hand. Still keeping a dagger up your sleeve, I see. Always have, always will. Young lad, how are you? Cold, but, well, I'm well. We're all cold, lad, even if Kane doesn't want to admit it. Watch his breath, it's like smoke. The same for us as well. Kane greets the others. In addition to their colored cloaks, they wear plate armor gilded to match their heralds. A chest plate indigo like the sky after dusk. A dark mustard yellow cloak accented with a gray scarf. Dark horses and a red field emblazoned on a shield which matches a crimson cloak and black plates. Bright green clothing as padding for well-polished armor which reflects like the moon. I hope you brought some wine, Lord Vunra, Kane says. I don't want to risk breaking a bottle, but we can celebrate after. Cecil turns to them all. So, we're ready? The group nods silently. They begin walking through the woods, avoiding where the moonlight strikes the ground. Cecil and Kane are in front, and Kane whispers to her. They do know where we're heading. They do know where we are heading, yes? She whispers back. Yes, their families want someone to see it done. So that is our first story, Kane and Cecil. Yeah, I don't really have much to say other than this is kind of the style that I'll be writing in. If we have other people writing on this stream, they might write in a different style, but this is kind of my style. And if you enjoy it, well, lucky you, we're going to be writing more on this stream. So, yeah. So I'm going to close that. What's that, Ed?
I thought that was pretty awesome. But I love the armor description. Really, like, painted an awesome picture in my head, for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, I try to paint good descriptions. It's weird too though, because sometimes everything you wanna write is about what you see, and it's very tricky also getting hearing and smell, and you don't really get taste in the descriptions. But yeah. So thanks.
You could toss out like a the
Poly-
air is humid, so like a thick taste. Well, I don't know, thick isn't a taste. What am I talking about? But
well, no, musky or or you could have Polly Darton and her super smell or super taste rather, and
nobody smells like Polly Darton.
Nobody smells like Polly Darton,
and that means two things.
That means double entendre, I believe is what you mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, double entendre. I can't speak French.
That's not from the South.
That's not from the South. All right. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to get some bullet points down, just kind of draft an idea of a story that will eventually be written. I'm going to throw it to you, Eddie. I have an idea in my head of something we can do, but if you have any ideas, I want to see how off the cuff I can do this.
Okay, so as far as bullet points go, because I mean, my thing is I want to get chat involved. I really have to burp.
I would love to get chat involved if we had more than like 2 people in the chat.
Look at chat's flying up and scrolling. Everyone's partying. So
are they? Oh shit! Oh,
we're gonna. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What I want to like, what I kind of picture is, we toss out some questions, see what chat may come back with, and build off of that. And then if it's I don't know, past chat's bedtime, then we'll kind of come up with stuff on our own.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna be able to read the chat better than me. I
for sure
have one monitor. But, I mean, just themes or characters. I actually rather stay away from characters just because, let's say, I don't know too much, for example, about June or Ecclesias. But so I don't wanna do anything about theirs. But maybe Uridan or Alar or
where we have our most experience. We could also. I think I picked a scab.
Perfect time.
Yeah, I totally did.
Perfect
time. I was gonna say we could. I want to try to. I want to avoid typical medieval tropes.
Yeah.
I want to throw that as a challenge out there. So no like extra powerful wizard or artifacts hidden somewhere. I want to avoid typical tropes. I want to. Oh, look at that bad boy! It's going good.
Oh no. Oh no.
We could write a story. We could write a story about an Eddie and a Nick
Little
in
girl and
Fabian.
before they get disappeared. Before they get disappeared. See, that would be wonderful. Except I feel like I could do that. Except I feel like I would have to write in the moment of where they come into the town, and then they're like, oh shit, they're gone. But I don't know that moment.
Well,
Wow.
we could. That's a little ad lib. We could ad lib that freestyle.
Good. Yeah. I mean, but here's the other problem with that. I already know where that story is going. It's literally just gonna be a story of a little girl, and then the little girl's gonna disappear. So it's gonna be like a story, and then the actual there's gonna be no conflict whatsoever. I guess we could make a conflict in it.
Well, yeah, that's. Come on, man, write it up.
All right. Subjected to the
or-
whims of the chat. Or.
Well, I was gonna say, if anyone uses a trope, I want the opposite end of the trope. So, if you want the huge powerful wizard, I don't want the hero side. Give me the powerful wizard side.
Okay.
So if the
June once again.
No, I said powerful.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
No, like, so if I want to know, as heroes, you try to figure out the diabolical plan and you gotta hash through a bunch of stuff, but I want to know the other side. I want to see the diabolical plan kind of hash itself out, and then maybe the heroes mess it up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that bad guy overcome that?
All right, I have an idea. So, skeletons in the wizard's dungeon tower. How do we want to do this?
If it's a wizard, he's definitely gonna have a tower.
He's gonna have a tower. All right. So, you know how stereotypically, right? Adventurers come in, the DM has to make it a scary dungeon. You have to understand that there's the threat of death. Maybe there's some skeletons in the corner, right?
Yeah.
How did those skeletons get there?
Oh, good. Nice.
There you go. So, that is the idea. So let's do skeletons in the wizard's tower. The setting will obviously be the wizard's tower. What's the wizard? What's the wizard's name?
His name is probably
Pretentious.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be like Grant.
Grand
the most-
Archmage.
Oh yeah, it could be Archmage Grant.
Grand George.
No, I keep thinking. I don't know why, like undertow. So I want to keep saying above the toe. It doesn't make any sense, but
No, it doesn't. How about this? What if just for now, because this is bullet points, so we don't need to get the name out yet.
true.
Just call him the Grand Archmage.
Oh, I like that. Yes. Deal.
Of the tower. We'll just call this with skeletons in the tower. And then setting some room in the Grand Archmage's tower. And so other things that I like to consider before writing a story. Themes, right? So, all right, fair enough. adventures. They're trying to kill the wizard. Why are they trying to kill the wizard? Is the wizard actually good? Is the wizard bad? Are they really just trying to find information from the wizard? What, like,
True.
because I don't want it just to be adventuring. This is a story, hopefully. In Dungeons and Dragons, fine, fair enough. You can go dungeon diving, and you don't need too much plot for that. But for the short
Yeah,
story,
because we didn't define what the skeletons were. They could have been
yeah.
experimental rodents.
Ooh, experimental rodents. All right, let's.
Or they could have been experimental hobbits or halflings.
Rodents. I really like the idea of experimental halflings. Let's avoid copyright infringement. Um, let's avoid.
That was my bad.
No, you're fine. We're gonna avoid. I'm sure Tolkien really cares right now. 6 feet under. Dark. Really not. It wasn't even a joke. That was just bad humor. All right. So skeleton.
Never mind.
Experimental rodents, experimental halflings, dead adventures. What if, right? Here. The skeletons did not die as a result of the wizard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be intrigue. That's some intrigue right there.
Yeah, so that's some intrigue. And then what we can do is, so we'll just have dead people.
But then that could cause alarm. I almost went Erden for unnecessary reason. For maybe the Archmage could be dead.
Yeah, we don't know if the Archmage is dead. Do we want this from the perspective of the Archmage, or do we want this from the perspective of
that's a good point too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I guess when I started off this anti-trope is what I'm going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be I wanted it to be I in my head had it as an enemy of heroes. So the Archmage is probably gonna have I'm gonna go out and assume a hunger for power, like they all do.
Right.
But it's just his point of view on how his plans developing, whereas an adventuring party or someone trying to stop him would come in and thwart those plans.
Mm-hmm.
So it essentially, instead of reading a book about a hero, you're reading a book about a villain.
Right.
So that is where my mind started off.
Okay. So, and the adventures could be the villain.
Or yeah, that could also be another flip to the script too.
Right. So we're probably gonna have. I'm gonna guess 1,000 words. That's being generous. That's so anything below 1,000 words is considered flash fiction. Anything above 1,000 words to 10,000 words is considered a short story. I don't know why they chose those numbers, but they did. So I'm gonna aim for 1,000, so that way we can classify this as a short story. For reference, Cain and Cecil was only 400 words, so that's technically flash fiction. Yeah, I know. I hope I'm not boring you with my word count talk. Anyways,
hey, that's something to strive for.
Something to strive. I mean, well, you want your story to be long enough to tell the story. You don't want to, unless if for some reason your publisher is offering you money to write a novel. There's no reason to try and write a novel if you know what you've got is not going to make a novel. It's like you're just gonna add filler and it's gonna be terrible and no one's gonna like the novel because maybe first half is good, but then the second half they're like, why did he write this? Could literally just tear the book in half. But anyways, so here's my idea. We have a group of 3 adventurers. They go into the Grand Archmage's Tower looking for information or justice or something. We don't actually know. We don't even have to define if they're good or bad, right? That's another twist to it. So I'm starting to think. I'm not sure if I want to even define the motives of the Archmage or the adventurers. And then during their trek through the tower, they become the skeletons in the corner of the room. And maybe what we can do is, so I'm thinking, my thought here is we'll have them slowly deteriorate, all right, spelled that wrong, into skeletons. But this obviously won't be a surprise to anyone on this stream. But the idea is that you will slowly see them turn into skeletons as you're reading the story. But hopefully, I'll write it in such a way that you won't be able to you won't realize until the very end that these descriptions of their fatigue and maybe their skin starting to flail off is actually a description of some curse that's turning them into skeletons. Does that sound nightmarish enough? Or is it something you hate? Do you want to? I mean, I know this is a bit off from what you had suggested. This is a bit
I might be looking too far into it. Would there be evidence of, what's causing that?
Hopefully, yeah. So one of the things
is that something that I guess you more so as like a kind of like the writing process you hash out in a different aspect? Because me personally, I'm very detail oriented. So when I start getting my ideas and things hashed out, I handwrite them first, and then I type them, and then as I'm typing them, I think it fleshes out, and that inspiration from inspiration type of thing is where I build the scene, the effects, the people, all that kind of detail comes out.
Right. I get what you're saying. One thing I was tempted to try, just a random thing, was like writing on this stream. I don't know if I could get that to work, but that's a random thought.
Yeah, that'd be hard. I feel like you need a second camera or something.
I do have a second camera, funny enough. Anyways, of course I do.
Wait, you have a second camera but not a second monitor?
I actually have a third camera. I have
end the stream. Cut right here. We're done.
I have one camera that's like 480p. I swear to God, it's probably 20 years old. I have another camera that was a cheap one that I bought that is in and out, and then I have this third one. So I only kept on buying cameras because the previous ones were total shit. And so my monitor is great. I actually did have 2 monitors. Yeah, my one monitor. I did have 2 monitors, and then there was a power surge and blew the fuse on that.
Oof.
Yeah, rip. Anyways, I tried soldering it back together. Did not work.
I gotta say, you really have captured my dog's attention, though. She's just been like just paying way too close attention to this. I don't know if it's because I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm talking to nothing to her. So
and she's like, "Why aren't you paying attention to me? Maybe I should listen." When is he gonna say my name? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. We have a dog's attention. Tell your dog to subscribe.
Frankie, don't forget. Subscribe. She didn't do it.
She didn't do it. All right. Well, oh well.
No, her bone's under my chair. Hold on. Okay, and we're back.
Man, I really like the story idea though. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So let's get like this is.
So
Oh, man.
do you think that the basis of this story right now, does a good and evil plot, or a plot in general, have to be hashed out right from the start? Like,
I mean, so I don't really, I can't think of anything I've written recently anyways that where I try to do good and evil. Even so, I DM a Monday campaign, and even there I try not to use like good or evil. I don't try and have like, I mean, there is technically a big bad evil guy, but I don't want it to, if you're the perspective of the big bad evil guy, it's, well, then you're doing good. So I try not to like define good or evil. You can, I mean, it really, what it is, right, is maybe to determine if this grand archmage is good or evil, we have to say what he's done in the past or she's done in the past. That'd be fun to have a female archmage. You don't see that. I feel like you don't have those often. But anyways,
that is also a pretty cool aspect to add. So we can determine that right now. She's a female.
Yeah.
Female tabaxi, because you don't see many spellcasting tabaxis.
I feel like tabaxis are so cliche.
Oh yeah, there's too many of them in Felbian.
There's too many of them in Felbian. Yeah.
What is there not enough of in Felbian? Minotaur caster.
Minotaur. Now I'm gonna worry about because I mean, I think it's a good thought to make her a female because like a stereotype, because then it also, like, in my head, it really shouldn't change things. I try not to make gender change things, but like I think it's interesting. Normally it's a male archmage, so I think that's interesting. But I'm gonna try and stray away from deciding race or gender or any of that, or even class necessarily.
Is archmage like there's no gender type? Like an archmage is an archmage, whether it's male or female, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of being a female, if the archmage will even make an appearance in the story. But so, all right. So let's make an outline. We have to start out at some point, and we were talking about avoiding cliches. So let's not make it a dark dungeon. What if it's like an opulent hall? So we have three.
Oh, it's like elegant.
Like three adventurers strolling through an opulent hallway.
So, and instead of like, like stereotypes are giant, like cup size, she's like modest. That was the total joke. 100% a joke.
I don't know if anyone else is laughing, but that's hilarious. That is hilarious. That's actually. That's good, yeah. Yeah. She actually has small tits and a small butt, just to change the.
Hey, I tried to not word it that way, but you went there.
Nothing against that. Is never happening again.
Huge tracts of land.
This stream is never happening again. Anthony is never letting us do this again.
He's not listening. He's not even here.
No, he's not even. Not here.
Okay.
Was that what? No cake. You can still have cake. Just it's not as big. That's a little.
It's more of a pie.
More of a. Exactly. Oh. Is this me? I don't know. I'm gonna have to refresh on Twitch TOS because I genuinely don't know. I don't know if we're breaking it right now. I do not know. No, they got hot tub people. We're fine.
I'm not getting in a hot tub.
That's we're very easily sidetracked here. It's okay.
Yeah, we are.
Where the wind takes us. So, all right. So we have this opulent entrance hallway. 3 adventurers strolling through an opulent entrance hallway. I'm probably pronouncing one of those words wrong.
Yeah, I think it would be opulent hall.
Opulent hall. Well, yeah. All right, we can do.
Or-
hall. I said I said
elegant.
entrance. I said entrance hallway because like it won't necessarily be apparent in the description, but my idea was it's an entrance hallway because this is the beginning, right? And then what we would end up having at the end of the story, after seeing these 3 people die, is we would have another group of adventurers enter into this hallway, which is the entrance hallway. And that's why I called it the entrance hallway. Does that sound good? Yeah, I'm already I'm not. I guess we have decided the end, which is really bad writing etiquette.
I'm having a hard time separating the writing from a story aspect to a Dungeons and Dragons aspect. You know, because this is just purely story, and our DM is allowed to nitpick, and then, you know, if he does and we recognize it, we're like, oh, he used it. But right now, this is just, you know, a writing style. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the dice out of here. Get him out of here. We don't need none of that. So
Yeah.
So so I guess as description goes, I guess just kind of like close your eyes and what do you picture? And
Yeah.
you know, that's what needs to be out there.
I'm gonna side the opulent hallway later. I'm gonna side
Okay.
just side description. But to your point about like D&D, we can make this D&D, but because I've done this, is when I think of like so if I'm writing a story that's inspired by D&D, you know, obviously you're taking away the dice, but I say, all right, this person does this. What would that look like? And I'm not going to say anything about whether, you know, if it succeeds or fails, you're going to see the results of that. How they do it, like instead of, because when I'm doing ALAR, for example, I don't worry about like, you know, sometimes I try and say a fun thing when I cast Disguise Self, which I haven't cast in forever, or Detect Magic. But in general, I'm not worried about what the ritual looks like. I'm not worried about what the spell looks like. When I'm running a story, I'm not going to say that they're casting Detect Magic, but I will describe exactly how the spell is cast. And I will describe exactly what the effects is.
The separation between that though is like if you put if you take Alar and put like switch with June, you would care more about your hand motions and the you know, asymmetric symmetrical, or is it, what is it,
somatic
somatic
material and
and
there's a verbal.
Yeah, verbal. You would care about that stuff. I almost said asymmetric.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so for example, June playing her character, she doesn't necessarily describe really in depth. I'm talking like I mean, not necessarily a paragraph, but at least a sentence or two about the casting of the spell. So if I've written something before where I have a character, actually he does cast Disguise Self, and what he does is he takes out his flute, he plays his flute in such a way, and then I describe the music, which is, by the way, really difficult to describe music. How do you describe music in more? It's anyways, but he plays his flute, and then his I guess it's not really Disguise Self, but his entire wardrobe suddenly cleans up, and you see his shoes tie, you see his shirt flatten and all that, and so you see him cast a spell, and then you see the effects, right? If I was playing, I wouldn't necessarily describe in as much detail as that. If that may, I get what you're saying, and we also RP very heavily.
Yeah, like when it
So-
comes to Erden using his powers with his bow and arrow, I like to add flavor to it, because it's not just like a normal like fleet,
Yeah.
like this one I channel it and then you see like lightning go down his arm and then it charges up the arrow and then like he lets go like a normal arrow and then it just goes off this way, but then you hear a guy die in the distance and you're like, wait, what? So like I like that kind of stuff is awesome as a character, but it's really awesome to like read as well.
Yeah.
So it's something that you don't want to skip out on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just there.
Maybe the old adage, keep it simple, stupid, plays a large part in how descriptive to be in just a writing setting.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you want it to be simple enough that you can understand it. But if you don't want purple writing, which is the term, if you've never heard of what purple writing is like overly flamboyant writing, where you pulled out a dictionary and you're like, I am not using the word I originally thought of. I am always going to use some fancy synonym just to show how well read I am and the fact that I have a thesaurus.
You don't
want purple writing.
You're describing somatic in text form, like you're trying to write it down. You're like, the pointer finger goes down, the middle finger stays up, the ring finger stays down.
Not even like points down. It'd be the middle finger directs downwards towards the and I can't think of the earth ground. Yeah, the core. Exactly. That's purple fiction. You don't want to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Right naturally. But right, so another thing to keep simple though is your first outline, which we are doing. If it seems like we're talking,
this is like so off the cuff and just like
that's how I want it.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a lot of fun for me. I don't know about anybody else.
It's fun for me. I'm not gonna worry about the chat. Well, I don't have a second screen to look at the chat. I'm sorry. You know what we forgot to do? Oh no.
We forgot to shout out that.
We forgot to shout out that I'm not gonna try and pronounce that name, but Saracia.
No,
if that's
Shay.
Shay. Okay, Shay. I just also paused the stream accidentally there very quickly. Shay, anyways, she subscribed again at tier 1, if I remember correctly. She's been subscribed for 7 months, so thank you very much, Shay. We appreciate it a lot. Totally forgot to mention that, and I feel bad for not mentioning it because someone told us beforehand that we needed to mention that. Let's make sure. I'm going to scroll through really quickly. And Eduardo, who is that? I have no idea who Eduardo is. Also subscribed at tier 1. They're on
probably super cool.
Probably super cool guy, not unlike the two people here. Anyways, so there we go. I totally forgot about that. All right, but the outline. So we have 3 adventurers strolling through an opulent entrance hall. And so they go through the entrance hall. I don't really want to have action, but maybe they open up a door at the end of the hall. And this might sound like purple fiction here, but incite a strange mist. They ignore it and continue.
All right, I want to. Damn, never mind. Oh, I was gonna. Well, hold on. I'm gonna work some magic. 1 sec.
All right. So they ignore it and they continue. We're gonna have a second room. Let's make this second room is another. Oh, maybe is a stairwell full of pictures, which move, and as they climb up. Oh, you don't be crazy. One of the pictures scares one of the adventurers. They fall off and die. Yes. So this is definitely going for a horror trope here. I don't know. See, you have to sometimes rely on tropes because they can help you a lot, but also you don't want to just completely, you don't want to just tell a story that's already been told before. You want to twist it in some way. I think Jezza always says this very nicely. Everything that's artistically made is always based on something that came before it. You're not going to create something completely new when you write. So I don't.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is, and it also helps as someone writing something that like it doesn't matter if it's been done before. Make it your own spin on it. Take what you know of that and then make it yours. Is what matters. Make the characters yours. Just make it feel like it's yours. No, who cares if you have a ring of power or stones of power or whatever.
Mm-hmm. A really great example of that might be there's this great book called The Heart of Darkness, and there's another book called Paradise. I believe it's by a guy named Abdul Razak. But anyways, Paradise is basically the same story idea of Heart of Darkness, except instead of the Europeans going to the core of Africa, in Paradise it is people from the coast of Africa going into the center of Africa, and it offers a very unique perspective, but it's basically the same story as Heart of Darkness, right? So you can, it's the same story, but it is both of them are very interesting reads. If you haven't read them, I'd highly encourage you. Those are things I've actually read. I usually have not actually read things. I don't want to make it seem like I'm well read. I'm trying, but
I think that's whenever I read something, it's more like a mentally directional book to like change up how people think things and stuff. That's what I typically read.
Right.
So I don't know why. I feel like if I read a fantasy novel or like it just is like it takes like away from my D&D aspect. Like I don't want to steal something from that book. I just want to come up with it on my own.
Right. I'm kind of the opposite. There's this book I'm in the process of reading. By in the process, it's like a 600-page book, and I'm probably 50 pages in, and I've had this book for a solid year. But it's gonna sound like I full disclosure, I lived in Tanzania, which is in sub-Saharan Africa, for like 2 years. Yeah, I don't say. So if it sounds like I'm interested in African fiction and things, yes. There's a reason. Anyways, but this story is called Black Leopard Red Wolf, and it's a fantasy story based on African mythology. And so I like to bring that into, for example, our D&D campaign, or into my own on Mondays, which is a lot easier because I'm DM and I can do what I want. I don't know. I like getting inspiration from things. Because it's completely different from like Tolkien.
Was the book in Swahili?
No, because I am not literate in Swahili. I can talk. Reading is I tried.
Basically, you're a phony. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no,
that actually sounds absolutely intriguing, and I might have to borrow that from you.
Absolutely. You'll probably finish it before me.
That's true. You just started it. Well, I'll give you my book as a trade. So
there you go. All right.
Mine's not fantasy related, so I feel like it's off topic, and we'll get back into this.
I mean, I could give you is it on my shelf? No, it's not. I could give you Camus. I could give you a philosophy book.
I'm flossed up. I'll leave that
All
to.
right, you'll take the African fantasy. Gotcha.
Yeah, please.
All right. Anyways, the outline. I love it. It's been really fun talking, but we have totally ignored this outline.
There's a thing about tangents, and we go off, man.
We go off. Let's try and get an outline. Let's try, because I'm trying to keep this within an hour, and we don't have to stay. We don't have to finish it, but we're gonna.
We can leave it up in there, or but I tried to send our lead moderator a little note, but he's probably AFK doing stuff. I was going to try to create a poll and have the chat decide, should this gas that they passed through in the previous hall, this cloud, should it be nothing, poisonous, a disease, or maybe something that affects them like a parasite later on?
That's true. I already know what it is, but
if you had something predetermined, I just wanted to get chat engagement. I wanted them to help us write this story. So.
Oh no, don't put a gun above the door if you're not going to use it, bud. That's someone's rifle. I don't remember.
Ernest Hemingway.
Maybe. Yeah, but no. My idea for the strange mist. I didn't describe it. I'm sorry, but the idea for the strange mist is that strange mist then slowly turns them into skeletons.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah.
So it is or something.
So it could be a parasite or arcane.
Flesh-eating disease.
Flesh-eating disease. Ooh, strange mist. Let's call it a flesh-eating.
Oh, hold on. Before you finish that. So, in this world, since we're in Felbian, what if it? So, I don't know if this is something Anthony has hashed out or not, but when I think of a world as such as Felbian, I feel like that everyone is a little tapped into the arcane.
Mm-hmm.
And if the arcane is in them, maybe this cloud eats at the arcane and it dehydrates them, and it withers them, slowly draining their hydration, so to speak. Mm-hmm. That could be something. So it could be a arcane sapping cloud.
So what I'm gonna do is strange mist is an arcane sapping cloud. As the adventurers walk through the tower, they appear more dehydrated. They start to show signs of fatigue that were not present in the beginning. They stop sweating. That is a symptom of dehydration. And then
lots of coughing.
Yeah, is coughing dehydration?
Like raspy voice, clearing throats.
Actually, coughing, raspy voice. And then once all three are dead, their skin decays into dust, and only their skeletons remain. So what I've got going here is we got these descriptions along the way, which I will have to kind of intersect then with this greater outline, which will be the story proper. Yeah, I really like this. Does that sound good?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then one thing I kind of forgot. Themes we kind of have eschewed themes and we've kind of eschewed conflicts, but I guess conflict would be I don't want to use the stereotypical like self versus whatever, but this would be kind of versus greed almost, right? I don't know. I might have to give some thought on this.
Yeah, that's something that we can do later.
Yeah, I also so conflict themes, they're very good things to get you started. I think this is a very interesting story by itself, but it's important to think about them, right? But it's obviously we have themes, we have ideas. I think it's in this particular story it's gonna be difficult to get them very concretely.
I'm trying to think of like what else, like another a drive to bring those adventurers in could be they found a mage tower. What else is in mage tower except for arcane knowledge?
Right. Got so there's a puzzle.
Which is also there's arcane traps, arcane puzzles is a great word. So it's not easy, but it's also got a lot of treasure or knowledge inside of it.
So what I'm doing here is because I want each of these 3 adventurers to die at different points, right? Realizing how long this actually is, because I mean it's going to be progressively dying as they go along and kind of building up.
So maybe
them die.
Some poor schmuck opens up he unlatches the book that was strapped, but he didn't check it, and it, boom.
I got it.
Uh-oh. I love the epiphany.
They open up a chest. And what is that chest? It's a mimic.
It's a mimic.
It's a mimic, yeah. Exactly. Forget the puzzle.
Can we do this, though? So, hold on. So, jot down your mimic idea. So, I want the one character opens up the chest. It's a mimic. The second remaining character, he gets scared, it backs up into a second mimic, like wardrobe, and it engulfs him.
Actually, 4 adventures.
The 5th one gets eaten by a chandelier.
One of them walks backwards, scared of the mimic, and gets eaten by a wardrobe mimic. I need to buy a wardrobe right now, and I'm never gonna look at it the same way. I'm not buying one with doors. It is not going to have doors. Genuinely, I need it's gonna go right there is where my wardrobe is going to go. And anyways, so in the library, then with the wizard in their study, person.
Oh, but Magenta Mage in the chat brought up a good point, though.
Oh.
If these mimics consume them, it leaves behind no skeleton. So her comment was, the mist that was affecting them, it was supposed to deteriorate them and leave them skeletons.
I'm Googling this right now. 10 things you don't know about mimics.
Do they poop skeletons?
This is a story. We can do what we want.
We can.
I don't care. It's gonna, where is this? The further they go into the area toward the thing they're seeking, the more the mist affects them. Yes. That was kind of my point. Literal definition is an entrance hall. Somatic. All right. That's too far.
Yeah, it would be the most recent comment.
Oh, most, yeah. Really go in an area to where the thing is see. Yeah, the more the mist affects them. Yeah. Oh, so the point about the mimic not leaving a skeleton, that was your point. Yeah.
Yeah. So her comment made me realize, oh wait, what about Frankie,
What if
this is a one-on-one meeting. Go back over there.
here, kills one of them. Eats top half. Gets eaten by
Okay.
Mimic. Yeah. Eats bottom half.
Oh,
Bam.
there you go.
And then
so then
there,
there's the 3.
yeah. And there's 3. Yeah. I love this story. This is not the story I was expecting, right?
That was very clever. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
That's awesome. All right. So then there's a library with the wizard in their study. Final person withers in a skeleton, turning into a skeleton. Nicholas. Oh man. All right. Withers into a skeleton as they walk through the library. Archmage looks over her railing down at the skeleton. Massive tits hanging out. No. And says, "Oh dear." And it's just gonna be "oh dear" because I'm imagining like leaving it like, what does "oh dear" mean? Like, is "oh dear" like a sarcastic thing an evil person says? Like, "oh dear, you've got dirt all over my library," or
No,
is it, "oh
I think
dear,
it's like
someone's
like
dying in the library"?
Wait, so is this the Archmage saying this?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to quiet down, pup. I maybe he can actually say like, "oh, foot," and then that's where the story cuts. Because he's by himself, so no one hears him swear.
That would
have to be elegant.
I would enjoy that. However, oh, you know what? Yeah. It says "oh dear," or "oh," and then flash cut to 5 Adventures knock on the door.
Yes.
There you go.
I love it.
All right, and that's our outline.
There it is.
Yeah, so we have 4 adventures scrolling through an opulent entrance hall. I think I've pronounced that different every single time. Open up a door at the end of the hall and incite a strange mist, which we will know to be flesh-eating disease or parasite. They ignore and continue. The second room is a stairwell full of pictures which move, and as they climb up, one of the pictures scares one of the adventurers and they fall off and die. Why has that not happened in Hogwarts? I don't know. The adventures continue, reaching another doorway at the top. Room and chest. It is a mimic and kills one of them. Eats top half. One of them walks backwards, scared. The mimic gets eaten by word mimic. Eats bottom half. We get 2 halves. Library. Yeah, cool, perfect. I don't know how long this story will be. I have no. I don't know, like how like one of these bullets might be a paragraph and another one might end up being like a whole page.
Oh, I just thought of something.
Yeah.
Kind of awesome. All right, we
tell.
take these bullet points, and then I think you write a story, and then I write a story, and then the next episode we read what we got.
I do like this. However, let's talk about this later.
I'm just yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Popped into my head.
And if chat likes it, we will certainly consider it. But we'll see. I do like that idea. I'm not gonna go completely with the wind. All right, I'm gonna resist the wind a little bit right now, but I do like this idea. Does chat like that idea?
Chat's blowing up. They love it because it's my idea.
Chat's blowing up. Same 3 people commenting. Yes, the chat is blowing up. I'm honest, you know. I'm keeping it real. All right? I know who our audience is, and we appreciate all 3 of you. All right. So yeah, this is we have the wizard themes. Not really sure what themes or conflict are. I might figure out more of this.
But we can hash this out. You know, kind of.
Yeah.
We got a good outline. I think this is a good place to wrap her up.
Yeah. Ambiguous. What is the word? Ambiguous alignment. Wow. Of course, I'm spelling ambiguous wrong. All right. Yeah, I think it's a good time to wrap up. 9 p.m. Very quickly, the story that I was going to possibly get to, we didn't get to it because we had such a wonderful time writing the outline. This is it. You can tell it's 2 pages and change. It's not going away. I believe next Ink and Well, whenever that is, it'll probably be in 2 weeks' time. That's when I was thinking. We'll get back to this story right here. We'll also have a draft of this story that we can see, if only briefly. And we'll either next week be working on a draft of this, or we will do another outline, or we'll do something that I don't say right now. But yeah.
They're also, yeah, keep an eye on our Discord. We might have a few voting options or bits and pieces we can, add to this. Or even just if you want to give us some comics and critiques about this pilot episode that we just threw out randomly. So
give us some ideas here. What do we got here? What's in the... Oh, no, that's completely different. Yeah, I guess there's only the tavern talk and the community chat, so
yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, leave your suggestions or whatever there.
Gotta thank Shay again for the I'm just gonna go off and say billion-month subscription at tier 1. Please don't eat that.
She subscribed for longer than the entire human race will be alive for, and we appreciate very much.
Prepaid.
Yep, prepaid. Prepaid for a billion months. Yeah, and that is the first episode of the Ink and Well. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back 2 weeks' time. If we're back earlier, we will make sure to let you know. Yeah, also, it won't normally be on a Wednesday. I'm thinking normally it'll be on a Tuesday, simply because normally on Wednesdays we have the Exploring the Archives. So this is not meant as a replacement. This is just a placeholder because last week we didn't have...
this was the after the holiday test.
This was an after the holiday test. So, yeah. But thanks for joining us, everyone. This was the first page of the Ink and Well. I'm your host, Nick, and with my co-host, Eddie. And, yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much. And I don't know if Anthony is going to jump on and end this stream or how.
I think you just say, good night.
Good night, as I sit here and wait.